Record. Great. So recorded meeting. Let's see. This is for any grantees that are unable to attend. I'm gonna give you all kind of a warning heads up. My Wi-Fi also has been a bit quirky, and so definitely I can't my camera is over here. So just reach out, just turn on your mics and say, Kimberly, we can't hear you, or Kimberly, you froze. So I could be more aware of turning off my webcam. And so, first off, thank you all for attending this May webinar. It's crazy to think that this is the second to last webinar for this program year. I can't believe that we technically have a program year under our belt already. And so, but then also when looking at the data, I'm extremely happy. It's been a very successful program. Adina and I are so proud of it. The EOD is definitely very happy to see everything that has taken place, given the pandemic that we've been under. We've been able to get close to our target goals, and so I'll show you all that data in a little bit. And so to start things off, let's see if we can get this going. The agenda, as usual, roll call, definitely in the chat box function. Please indicate who's here from which organization. I'm going to give you the latest Early Childhood Equity Fund data, and then I'm going to have PSU go first afterwards, because there are some new staff that I'd like to have them introduce themselves to you all and all that, and Beth and their PSU team to give you some updates on the evaluation process. And then I'll go back and kind of do a quick little touch ups on the continuation application, the summer programming application that came out, and the equity deliverables training. There's some clarification that's needed there. A couple of grantees has asked me. I apologize for not emailing you back, just because I knew we would be using this webinar to kind of provide some clarity on that. And then just a few reminders. And so we'll go with that. Like I just said, chat function box, please indicate who's here from which agency, just so that we know who attended and who to connect with in depth after the webinar for the ones that are unable to attend. And so I'm going to start off with the Early Childhood Equity Fund data. Last month, I showed you some data, and I received a lot of emails back saying, oh my goodness, that's great to hear how we're all doing. Can you provide this more often? And so, and this is a data sheet that Adina pulls out, and she sends to the leadership team. And so I thought, you know what, Adina is doing that. It'd be great for you all to stay connected and informed on your program and the program in which you're a part of. And so thought I'd share some of the updated information. As you can see, the target for the program is 2,500. This is what we said we would be providing by the end of the program year. As you can see, we are very close. Last month we were at 2068. This month we are at 2,338. That being said, that is only the reports that we have received since May 7th. There are a couple of reports that we still are missing. And so there are some children and families that are not accounted for. And so we are very close to that target. We are, as we are aware, the um, April monthly reports are due, this Saturday on the 15th. And so, once we add those numbers in, we're hoping that we would get to our program target goals. And so this has been very exciting to see the data come together. And then these are the updated numbers, the updated numbers of children's served by gender, by their age. As you can tell, we are serving a lot of 5-year-olds, which is great. As you can tell, we need a lot more loving for our babies, our little ones. They are the most least served. And so this data will allow us to kind of make changes in the future of who should be eligible, who should be receiving services. If all preschool gets all, the services from the equity fund, we might, need to leverage, the infants and toddlers. And so this is good data for us to see. And also the demographic data. These are the updated demographics data as of the 7th of May. And so, and this is just with the submitted reports, like I said, hence missing a couple of other reports. And then income levels, I've received a lot of questions about income eligibility, and as of right now, income is not a part of the eligibility. And so the incoming questions were for us just to get a clearer picture of who is receiving the services and whatnot. And so it's good to see, like 190 of the children are at or below the federal poverty line. That's not a great thing, but it's great for us to know that we're at least, you know, um, helping service the families or the children that are furthest from opportunity. And then you look at the primary language and parents' relationships. Our board is very interested in knowing the relationships, of the parents or the guardians to the child, and so just to see if there's been an increase or a decrease in illegal guardianship, foster parenting and anything like that. And so that's been really good data for us to kind of take a look at. And so it's really good, important information in which we will be sharing with our board and with the legislature for sure. And then just for you all, as of right now, there's 28 grantees, 35 grants. That being said, as of right now, everyone but two of the program grants are providing services. So that has been a great movement. The two grantees that have not provided services, there's been, additional reasons why they have been unable to provide services. And so that's good to see that the numbers have gone down. In the sense of grantees providing services. Expenditure rate has gone up, but still not enough. At the end, I have the expenditure rate that I'll share with you all. And so, if we have been nudging you to go into EGAMS to claim, we really need you to go in and claim the funds. Okay. Right now, our percentage rate is really low, still very low, especially with just 2 months technically left in this program year. So, if you can, please talk to your fiscal team, wherever that it is. Please go in and claim funds. Another question or concern grantees have been asking with the continuation grant that has gone out is, Kimberly, we're not going to use all of our funding. Is that going to affect us, our ability to be funded next program year? We completely understand that not all grantees will be utilizing all their funds, period. We know some will. We know some actually need more, but we know some will not be able to utilize all their funds, and that will not be, used against you or be, a part of the conversation of continued funding. We understand, like we've stressed all year, we've been in a pandemic. We have gone through so many changes, so many unexpected situations that has affected our programs. And so that piece right there, you will not be affected by it. And so I just want to make that clear for you all today that that is not a piece in which we are looking at. Okay. Um, as for report submissions, it looks great. We're above the 95% submission rate. There are some that are still missing some reports. And so if you have not returned or submitted them, please submit them. Adina and I will be connecting with you just because we want to make sure we have all of the children's accounted for. We want to make sure we have everything accounted for. And then also report submissions. It's great, 95%, report submitted, great. But then right now we're also continuously cross-checking the data just to make sure the numbers in which were submitted that are being served, we have the correct demographics information to align with it. So just a heads up, if Adina is reaching out to you or if I'm reaching out to you saying, hey, can we talk about your demographics data just to make sure it makes sense with the numbers that were submitted, just to make sure. So in case in the future we are audited, if you are audited, we have the correct information. And so just know that that is happening as we are about to close up this program year. And so that's kind of the current updates right now for you all on just how the equity fund is doing. All the children and families are being served, and just the grantees is how you all are doing. And check-ins has been amazing. PSU has been a part of the check-ins. If I have not checked in with you, PSU and I will be checking in with you. And so those conversations have been great. And so I look forward to more of that. And so I can't see this chat function box. So let me know, Adina, if there's anything that needs to be addressed while we're on here. Okay. So next, what's going to happen is PSU is going to come on, I am going to exit out of my PowerPoint, and I will share PSU's PowerPoint for you all, just so that we can have them.
I think Kimberly, I don't know if there's any way I can share my screen because I think we did a few updates to the slides.
Oh, okay. So let me see. Let me see if I can allow you to.
If not, it's not that big a deal.
I'm trying to see if I can do that. Remote control. Let's see if I'm able to. Are you, or did you get anything from me?
I think you have to stop sharing your screen before I can share my screen.
Yeah, I think that's probably a smart idea, right?
Aha, I think that worked.
Great.
Can folks see this? Kimberly, can you see the screen that I'm sharing?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, great. All right. There we go. All right. So hello, everyone. This is Beth from the Portland State team, and we wanted to share some updates with you in terms of where we are. We, as you know, I think have been working hard to bring on a couple of new staff, and I'm really excited to introduce them to you. I think they're all here on the call. And so these are the folks that you're also going to have an opportunity to meet if you haven't already, and be joining some of the check-ins that you're having with your usually scheduled check-in with Kimberly. But I want to start off just by, like, we could go around, and Ron and then Amber and Alexis just say a few words, introduce yourselves. Ron, do you want to start? Ron's not new, and many of you probably know Ron from other projects. He's been with us for several years, but I don't think he's joined the webinar previously. So I wanted to make sure you all had a chance to say hi to Ron.
Right. Hi, folks. My name is Ron Joseph, research analyst with the PSU team. As Beth said, I've been on the team for a few years, but working in the background for this particular project for the last couple of months, and excited to join my first webinar today. It's unfortunate that it's the second to last one, but I made it in, so happy to be here. As far as my work on the project goes, I'm English Spanish bilingual, so I will be working with assisting anyone that has preference for speaking with our evaluation team in Spanish or anything like that. I'm one of the people that you can talk to. So yeah, lovely to see you all.
Great, thank you, Ron. Amber, would you like to go next?
Hi, everybody. I'm Amber Richardson. I'm a senior research assistant with PSU as of about a week and a couple of days. It's been really great onboarding, and my closest kind of experience that relates to this project is I spent about 6.5 years at the Institute for Native Pacific Education and Culture in Hawaii, which is they run culturally specific early childhood programs for Native Hawaiian children and families. And I've been just really enjoying reading through all your documentation and excited to meet and work with you all. I have basic Mandarin Chinese speaking experience if that comes up as necessary, but nice to meet you guys.
Thank you, Amber. Yeah, this is Amber and Alexis are in their not even barely second week of work. So, and they've hit the ground running for sure. Alexis, do you want to go next?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm the last new hire. My name is Alexis, and I'm joining the PSU team in this evaluation. I'm glad to meet everyone and have our conversations. Like Ron, I'm English Spanish bilingual. So if anyone needs to switch up the conversation to Spanish, I'm also available for that. So thanks for having me, and excited to be here.
All right, thank you, Alexis. All right, so I'm going to move us to the next slide here. All right, so where are we and what's coming up? So one of the things that we are contracted to, as part of our contract with the Early Learning Division, is to develop some ideas for any technical assistance or training or other supports that the ECEF grantees might need around data or information gathering. And so what we're doing is trying to learn a little bit more from each of you about sort of what kinds of data you're currently collecting from families, what your systems are like. And this, we know that this might vary a lot from some organizations that may have quite nice data systems and others who might be, you know, keeping track of things in paper and pencil. Or, and so we just really want to learn from you kind of where you are, what kind of information you think is currently being gathered that's important, what maybe isn't important, and what things you think might be important for telling the story of the important work that you're doing with children and families with this grant opportunity. So some of you I know have already started. We've had folks joining in on those check-ins. Kimberly was kind enough to let us kind of come alongside her rather than burden everyone with an extra meeting. So she's giving us some set aside time during those check-ins during May. Some of you, we missed your May check-in, so we are probably going to be reaching out to you to do a one-on-one meeting. We want to get those done by early June. And really trying to get recommendations from you during those conversations about what's really useful, what's least burdensome, and what's really appropriate. So I'll take it. And Olivia, did you have a question?
No, sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, I accidentally, how do you say, I accidentally turned my mic on. I forgot.
No worries, no worries. So that's going on right now. So we'll look forward to hearing from you, and you'll be seeing us on those check-ins. A couple of the other things that are happening. So one of the pieces of reporting that we're working on for this year is really focused on learning about your successes and challenges in implementation during this year. And obviously the big overhanging challenge that everyone has faced has been the COVID-19 pandemic and related shutdowns. I personally, when Kimberly shared the number of families served with us, I think last month or maybe the month before, I was incredibly impressed. I mean, the fact that you all have also been able to pivot and address those challenges and get services to your family has just been so part of what we're doing with that is right now we're in the process of reviewing existing data that you've already submitted to the Early Learning Division, looking at the reports and documents and narratives that you've provided and trying to pull out from what's already been submitted some of the successes and challenges. We're also thinking that we are going to be asking you to do just a very, very brief survey. And I know that you all are going to be very busy, but we're hoping when we send the survey to you in early June, that you'll have a few minutes to fill it out. And again, hoping that it's not too burdensome. We promise not more than 10 to 15 minutes to fill out the survey. And really important for us to make sure and hear from everybody about sort of key experiences in terms of successes and challenges for this year so that we can include that in our report to the Early Learning Division, which then, goes to the legislature in September. We have a draft implementation report that's due at the end of June, and we will be sharing that draft both with the Early Learning Division and with you for your feedback after we submit it at the end of June. So the final version won't be done until after the summer. So we'll have some time to work with you for feedback, make sure we are getting things right in terms of what you've been telling us and what you're sharing and what you think is most important to elevate in terms of recommendations moving forward. Also, we're working with the evaluation stakeholder group on that survey. I forgot to mention that. And we are doing one-on-one check-ins at the end of May to get feedback on that survey, make sure we're asking the right questions in terms of learning and hopefully hearing the important messages. Okay. And then the last piece of work, so I'm kind of like, there's kind of 3 big buckets of work right now. One is the technical assistance plan, one is the implementation successes and challenges report, and then one is kind of our plan for what the evaluation is going to look like in year 2 in terms of other kinds of information that we might want to be collecting or gathering or elevating in the evaluation. We're developing a framework that's really rooted in a culturally responsive evaluation model that was developed by Anne Ishimuro. And we are proposing that model right now and getting feedback from our stakeholder group through those one-on-one conversations, as well as trying to reflect on what are the key questions that are going to drive the evaluation. That is, what do you think as the grantees and as the stakeholders, what are the questions that we really need to be asking so that we can learn about the nature of services, the importance of these culturally specific funding streams, and the ways that the early learning system can be improved and shaped to best meet the needs of families and communities of color as we move forward. So that last piece is the evaluation and our plan for the next year. Again, that is a draft is due to the Early Learning Division at the end of June after we get some initial feedback on the draft from our stakeholder group. But then we will make sure that everyone has a chance to see that and provide input before we finalize that and submit it later in the summer. So that's where we are right now. I can stop sharing and ask if there's any questions, comments, suggestions for us in terms of what the evaluation is going to be working on between now and the end of June, which is all of a sudden seems like tomorrow. Can't believe it. Or if anyone from the evaluation team has anything to add that I missed.
So this is Jeff from Black Parent Initiative. I've had the opportunity recently to do online surveys, and we find that it's really helpful where we have, if we have several people who might need to provide input to the survey responses, to get those questions in advance.
Absolutely.
So we can coordinate our response.
Yep, that's a great suggestion. We can definitely do that. Thank you. Anybody else? All right, well, you'll be hearing from us, I know, in the next couple of months. So looking forward to hearing back from you, and let us know if there's anything else we can do to make it an easier process on your end. So open to any feedback you have always.
Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. There you go. And so I'm going to move on to the continuation application. This application, the application was sent out on Tuesday. Let me know if you did not receive it. I did have a grantee said they didn't receive it on their end. And so if you haven't, make sure you check your junk mail and all that. I will definitely send it over again to you if needed. It's also in our reporting portal. So when you go into where you go in to submit your monthly reports, there's an orange tab. And you can, it's bright and clear right there that says continuation application, and you can click on that link, which would give you access to the application. And so another heads up, the submission deadline is June 1st, must be submitted by June 1st. And so we are going to have a couple of sessions for you to drop in if you have any questions specifically on your application and next steps. There's that planning grantees. I will be meeting with you individually. I'm going to set up a meeting to connect with you all just so that I'm looking at the time frame and for you all to be better prepared for next year, just so that we know how to move forward with your grants. And so just be on the lookout for a meeting invitation coming from me. I know you all received a bunch of invitation invitations, and those were for our Q&A drop-in sessions for that for the continuation application. And so we have one for an afternoon this Thursday, and then next week on Wednesday for a morning session. This is the time for you to come in. Adina and I will be present. If you specifically have questions in regards to your application and any changes, does it make sense? Does it not? Should I add this? Should I not? I'm getting those questions during check-ins, but if I know your check-in is uh, later in May and you want to kind of have an answer already, just know that you're able to drop in. These are not mandatory. So if you don't have any questions or you don't want to attend, you don't have to. I just sent out the meeting invites so that you have it on your calendar as a reminder in case you needed to attend, you or anyone from your agency wanted to attend for that. And so and if both of this time does not work for you, shoot me an email and then I can connect with you at a different time as well. Okay. Summer programming application was sent out on Friday by Angela Stinson. She's the communications person for the Preschool Promise, and so she sent it out for all programs. So she sent it out on behalf of the Equity Fund for me. And so if you did not receive it, let me know. I can forward it to you. I had a grantee that did not receive it as well, and so let me know. There might be some hiccups with our emailing lately or the listserv. And so if you are interested in the summer programming opportunity, let me know. The deadline is very soon. It's May 21st. That being said, it's soon because we want to be able to have these funds out the door ready for you to have for summer programming. And so there's a specific link in which you would click on to submit your application. And so let me know if you have any trouble with that or if you need any guidance or if you simply did not receive the email. And I can help you with that. Okay. And then the equity deliverables training. There was an email and letter that was sent out for any grantee of any funded ELD program, whether you're a Preschool Promise, OPK, Equity Fund. Clearly in our grant manuals, every program have their own grant manual, but for us, for the Equity Fund, in our grant manual on page 8, it talks about the equity objectives. And if you look at the second paragraph, this is a cut and paste from our manual. It says, the program must complete equity training provided by the ELD by May 31st. And so there's been lots of confusion on this because for me, when I read this as a grantee, I would say, okay, ELD, you said you would be providing a training. I'm waiting on the training. And then there has been some other grantees that have said, great, we're going to go look for equity trainings and we're going to have our staff attend those and that would count. That being said, there's just been so much confusion. And so a letter was sent out just to provide clarity. The email was sent out on the 3rd. So what's happened is, as you can tell from the grant manual, the date was May 31st, and it's actually been changed to June 30th, end of program year. And you have two options. The first option is we strongly believe that your organization, your staff, your community. If you know that, what, ELD might be offering us, an equity training, but that doesn't really connect with the communities that we're serving in my staff. I have an idea of what my staff needs, then you can definitely decide on equity trainings and then submit proof of that. That you were in attendance or staff were in attendance. If you have a list of sign-in sheets of staff signing in to attend virtually, whichever way it is that you've collected that information, you can submit that. And then, or if you have not done it and you waited, kind of like what the program manual has said, there's a 30-minute pre-recording webinar that would be coming out. It'll be sent out by June 1st. And what would happen is you are expected to watch that webinar and then go back and just reflect with your team and your peers and colleagues on how to embed and talk about all that work and the effects of it for your program. And then you would simply go into the link and just submit and say, we watched the 30-minute pre-recorded webinar. And so in that email, there's a link. So whichever option you chose, you would click on that link and and submit which option that it is that you attended. Okay. That's kind of how it's going to be done. And so I see a hand raised. Shauna, do you have a question?
I do.
No?
So we went to the link because we have been doing our own diversity, inclusion, and equity training.
Mhm.
And it's just a Google form. It didn't have a place for us to like upload attendance. It just asked us the number. So do
Oh, okay.
we upload attendance somewhere?
Okay, well, I'll let the staff know that there was nowhere to upload that because that is what they were asking for us to have grantee submit, and if there's no way for you to upload it, there's no way, right? So let me provide them that feedback so that they can make those changes. In the meantime, if you can just send me that, that'd be great, and so I could just I could just submit it and send it over to that program admin.
Okay. So we've been doing like a series of diversity, inclusion, and equity trainings like throughout the year. So I can send you each one.
Yep,
So.
you can send me each one, whether it is a certificate for each one or whether it is an attendance sheet. Obviously not signed, but a virtual, I mean, a list of who attended. That'd be great.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions with the equity deliverables training? Okay.
Kimberly, I had a question.
Uh-huh.
If we cross multiple agencies, this link will allow us to submit it, whether it's for this grant or preschool promise, much like the insurance piece, it'll
Yep.
cover everything. Okay.
Just exactly like the insurance piece. You're able to click and if you can only click one, if you click preschool promise, we know, South Lane School District is preschool promise and equity fund and yada, yada, yada. And so that's what we did the insurance as well. So that works for it all. Any other questions?
When did you say that the pre-recorded one session will be sent?
They said by June 1st. And so anytime from now to June 1st, it'll be sent out. I don't know exactly when, but the letter says by June 1st. And so I'd assume by then.
Okay, thank you.
Kimberly,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I have a question. Is there a way for us to turn in a training log, or do you want us to just write down who attended the training and just send it to you?
A training log works too. I mean, in the training log, I would just say all staff, all management attended. You don't have to strictly write down every single staff that attended, and so that's totally fine as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Zakia, I think I saw your hand raised.
Hi, yes, I put mine in the chat also, just,
Okay.
I think you already answered it just now, though. You can just say, I can type up something that all staff attended this training. Because we actually get certificates when we attend the Washington County CCR&R. Means they just upload it to our professional registry. I also wanted to say that I didn't receive the email for the equity training logs, so I don't have that.
Okay. Well, what I can do is from the many conversations I've been having lately, there's been email issues in general. So I'm just going to resend everything out, the equity training, the summer programming, and the continuation application out. And so I'm sorry if you received it and you're going to get another email from me, but I'm just going to resend it to you all just in case anyone was missed. And so just a heads up that I will be sending those 3 emails in addition to this webinar email with a YouTube link and these PowerPoints slides.
Okay. Thank you, because I didn't get the summer one either. So thank you.
Okay, I will send that all out. Let's see. Any other questions? We're good. Okay, and so last but not least, just reminders. April monthly report due Saturday, May 15th. Turn in budget templates, anything we needed. It is bolded. I'm going to say it. I've said it in check-in meetings and I'm going to say it very seriously this time is we really need to go into EGIMS and claim our funds, okay? And so for the grantees that have not gone in and claimed any funds or have claimed once only, we really needed you to go in. Our expenditure rate is at only at 37.8%. We have a month and a half left. I know it is also, like I said, we take ownership in our part that funds were available to October. But that being said, it's been a couple of months since October, so let's hope that we could go in and start claiming our funds. Like, go claim your money. You know, the money that you all received. And so, and like I said, if you don't use all of your money, it's not going to be counted against you. Okay, but
Kimberly,
if you have, then definitely please go in. Yes, whoever it was, I can't see who
that's
talked.
Ann Olivia. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So sorry to interrupt. So yes, on the claiming, I want to be really specific for ourselves and others. First of all, yes, if we weren't able to use all the money, it won't count against us for the next year's grant.
Mm-hmm.
But if we fail to turn in a claim, we won't get paid for it, correct? The state doesn't have leeway on that. If we had our final payment and did not get the invoice to you and we needed money and we expended the money, but we didn't turn it in on time or claim on time, the repercussions are that we won't get paid ever. Is that correct?
I'm gonna defer that to Adina. Adina, is Adina here?
I'm here. So
Okay.
yes, we need your claims submitted by the end of the year.
And the end of the year is
June 30th.
right.
And all claims are for services by June 30th. So
right.
yes.
Services that were completed before June 30th, right?
Yes.
And then the second point is that we had problems sometimes, like we did one wrong and then we didn't quite understand how to do it. And then you were waiting for me to turn in the rest of the information and we needed time to figure that out. So I'm encouraging people, because it's our third time around, that you have, like, don't wait till the last minute, right? Because you wouldn't be able to take any new information and fixing information after June 30th. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I echoed.
Yeah.
Do not wait to the last minute to put in your claims. Yeah.
Right. And then
the
third thing is that we've been waiting for a long time to get paid, because we turned in a claim, I think it was 5 weeks ago or 6. And so I'm still wondering if we're doing it wrong because we didn't get any payment.
And Olivia, I currently have no pending invoices in EGIMS. So everything has been paid. So if you submitted a claim, it's not in EGIMS. So maybe you can send me an email and follow up, and I'll give you a phone call and we will go for it. But I currently have no pending payments in EGIMS. Like as soon as I get them, if I have something that I'm missing, expenditure report, I reach out to all the grantees. So I don't have anything. If you guys think that you submitted something, by all means, reach out to me if you don't get paid. The fiscal system within state of Oregon works. If you submit your claim on Tuesday and I approved it on Wednesday, it needs to go through 1 weekend of reload. So you will get paid on Monday.
Oh, wow.
But if you guys, so it is like a couple of days. It's not out.
So I need to check with the bookkeeper we have a change in staff. So but it's not showing up in QuickBooks. So I just need to go back and make sure that everything is clear with the new staff. So I'll do that first and then I'll contact you. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Shauna, I saw your hand raised.
I just had a question on the claims having to be done by June 30th. So if we're doing programs up until June 30th, and then we normally would I submit everything to our bookkeeper, and she normally has like till the 15th to get all reports and, claims done. So do we have to do this basically like in May? Like,
no. So your services are by June 30th. So obviously we have some time after June 30th to receive your claims and expend those claims. So the system doesn't shut up automatically on 30th. So there's some leeway by, I believe, end of the month, but I'm gonna verify that with our fiscal team.
Yeah, if you can let me know the exact time, because she's always like at least 2 weeks behind.
I will, what I will do is I will probably email you guys a link. I'll put the update on our dashboard. So it's like bolded there and we have the forms.
Let's see, Zakia, your hand is raised?
Oh, no, sorry, I forgot to take it down.
Okay, okay, sounds good. Okay, well, any last questions before we end this webinar? As usual, you know, Adina and I are here. Just shoot us an email. We'll get back to you when we can. And we have the upcoming continuation application drop-in sessions. And so if you have any questions, come to those and we can help you with that, okay? But if no other questions, thank you all for attending. I'm going to end this recording right now, and we will see you all during check-ins and next month for our last program year webinar. Have a good afternoon, everyone.